Hey, what's up guys? Today we got something slightly different on the channel. While you might be used to scripted and heavily edited type content, today we are trying to break loose from that formula. I have obviously been struggling with making videos recently, in part because of things I've going on in real life, but also because I feel everything I could say has already been said either by myself or other way more relevant personalities. So rather than trying to go out of my way to explain misconceptions for the 700th time in a row, I sat down with a good friend of mine, namely the multi-season top 500 player EchoFlex, to talk about crowd control in Overwatch. I figured that with my more average, almost casual experience and his high rank as well as semi-professional experience, it could potentially make for a fun video to talk about all the things and stuff that we keep seeing on the forum. And on today's chopping block, we got crowd control. I half went out of my way to cut out some parts where we were just rambling or going into unnecessarily specific examples, partially because the video would have turned out even more ridiculously long than it already has. At any rate, I hope you enjoy the video and don't forget to let me know what you think about this type of content.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright, so what do you think about the idea of removing every stun in the game?
Oh, it would make a lot of heroes. Stun is it's kind of like there's like a balance to it. It's like sometimes it's like super annoying, right, to get stunned, but if stuns weren't in the game, combos like Nano Blade, like Doomfist, they would just run rampant. I mean, if Doomfist didn't even have any of his stuns, he'd be bad.
Alright, let's go one step further. I mean, arguably, stuns and loss of control type things are always annoying, and to a point we start to wonder why they're even in the game. Like, imagine a world where Flashbang doesn't exist, Doomfist does not juggle you, like Doomfist does not make you lose control, he doesn't boop you up, he doesn't juggle you, he just pushes you with a right click, right? Like, that's the most thing he can do. And every other stun is just not there anymore. Do you think Overwatch will be a better game?
I think it would lose a lot of its identity. Characters just are like defined by their stuns. Like Reinhardt wouldn't be able to shatter people anymore. Zarya's useless now. She's just a farm bot for her energy. She was just a grab bot, basically. So if you were to remove stuns,
you can farm graph, but like it doesn't do anything. Like the thing is, you would have to like redesign so many characters.
The entire game, basically.
Yeah.
And define CC for me is it knockback?
I mean, here's the thing: if you go by like the traditional explanation of like what crowd control is, like there's so much that goes into it. Like anything that like even pushes
Lucio
you.
Boop would be gone.
Yeah, exactly. Like even Lucio Boop will be gone.
This game wouldn't be it wouldn't be anything it is right now.
Yeah.
How like you can list like probably like 50 things in this game that knock you back.
Yeah.
Did you know that Genji Dash lightly knocks back people? Did you know that?
I have never heard of that actually.
If you're super close to somebody, it actually boops them.
I just learned a new thing. Holy shit! But I do think that because obviously when we're confronted with a meta or even like just particular heroes like Doomfist and Baguette, it's really easy to just sit there and get really angry about like, hey, I literally could not react to that. Like I saw a clip from Aspen, who she just got killed by Doomfist and was like, Blizzard, maybe you want to look at this. And then as she says that, she gets like one shot by Doomfist in a matter of time that she literally could not react to it. And it's moments like that where it's really easy to like fall to your anger and be like, oh, this is stupid and it should not be in the game. And people don't realize that a lot of the stunts in the game actually make it so other things that would otherwise be very overpowered are not actually overpowered anymore. Such as what you said earlier, get a Nanoblade combo.
Nanoblade. If imagine if you couldn't shatter Nanoblade.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could sleep it or stun him.
I mean, at this point, Zarya has been buffed to a point where you can get Graph very, very consistently, and it is worth solo grabbing a Nano Genji because of how dangerous that combo is, because it can just annihilate the entire team. So if that wasn't in the game anymore, like, as you said, a lot of characters would lose their identity, and a lot of things
Tracers would run rampant.
Oh my...
Supports would not have any more. They wouldn't have to worry about outplaying CCs. A lot of characters would lose a lot of their just skill, basically, because most of this game is counterplaying the enemy team. Yeah. And sometimes you don't even... Some characters like Tracer, she on paper, she gets hard countered by stuns, right?
Yeah.
But with her abilities, she can move in such a way where it doesn't matter if she gets stunned or not, because she can just dodge them, and she can outplay her counterparts. But
it's something I see very frequently on EKO's stream. Well, he plays Tracer, and you think that, oh, you play against McCree and Baguette. Like, there's no way you can live, and he just outplays them. Like, completely outplays them.
If the skill is there, you can outplay stuns. It's just the skill ratio to outplay to the ease of use of the stuns that are in the game right now is too far apart.
But speaking of skill, people also often associate stuns as like, this is the low skill thing in the game, so that makes it that I can't display my own skill, when in reality, the game isn't just about click their heads, low forehead, it's also about ability management and timings. And sure, if you can get angry about a Baguette one-shotting his Tracer, but then you ask yourself, was it necessary for me to engage the moment I did? Was it necessary for me to engage into a team that was ready to stop me when there was no space created by my tanks, or when the enemy, whoever can stun like McCree or Baguette, was like perfectly aware that I was going for them? A lot of the things that I see on streams where people get really angry about stuns are perfectly avoidable situations. But like, sure, you can always argue that it's annoying, but it's not broken if you go out of your way to make a stupid play and then complain that your stupid play didn't work out.
Yeah, it's just in coordinated team play, like stuns are really not that much of a problem. So like, if you're playing with like an actual coordinated team and you want a hard counter a Brigitte on the enemy team, what you want to do, if you're playing, let's say dive, let's not even talk about death ball and all that, but you'd get a Zenyatta you'd run like triple support, right? You'd run your own Brig, right? If you want to counter their Brig, and they're on like, let's say goats, right? And the Brig is the biggest problem in goats, real talk. That's why goats is kind of what it is today. It's not quad tank anymore because Hog is bad and Brigitte is just so good.
F's in the chat for Hog, dude.
What you do, F's in the chat for Hog. What you do is discord the Brigitte. Now suddenly she's super scared to drop her shield. If she drops her shield, that's diva bullets, Lucio, Brig. Yo, if a target's discorded, especially a Brigitte, your own Brigitte can solo her with the shield bash combo.
Absolutely.
Winston's damage starts to become relevant again if the target's discorded. So if you have a coordinated team, Brigitte is not that much of a problem if you go out of your way to counter her.
I would even argue that, because obviously it's easy to say, like, well, in contenders and well in like tier 2, tier 3 scrims, and they're like, this and that is not that much of an issue. Because there's this one quote from EKO where on stream he said that Doomfist is actually not that good of a hero. Like, he's absolutely garbage in professional play because even a Lucio can solo contest them because people have the awareness and the knowledge to play around it. And this is why you don't really see Doomfist all that much. He's like a very niche pick over time kind of deal, but you don't have that in regular competitive play. And here's the thing. What he said, like word for word, if I recall correctly, was the only reason Doomfist is good is because people are bad. And it goes back to this example of like, why did you run your face as Tracer into that Baguette when you knew she still had stun off cooldown? It's stuff like that.
I have a very interesting stance on this Doomfist thing. I'm sorry for other people that I'm about to say this to, but I one-trick Doomfist on an account, all right? All right, and I'm a support player, so I lived long enough to become the villain, and I basically know all the Doomfist techs and bots and things like that, right? If you have the knowledge of that, I just position myself away from that. Usually, a lot of support players, when they're playing against Doomfist or like characters like Brigitte, when they stun, they're out of position. The Doomfist / Brigitte could just get to them easily, unless the Doomfist does some crazy rollout, and you do not have the knowledge of that rollout, you'll die.
So that's like a thing you can do as a solo player. It doesn't require
as a solo player. You don't even have to. You don't even have team. You don't even have to teammates.
Yeah, and that's
I'm kind of rambling at this point, but like Doomfist rollouts are set plays. The same thing. There has to be prerequisites to them for them to happen, right? Oh, this team is walking up here, so the Doomfist is gonna do this, so and so, right? And if you know the Doomfist is gonna do that, you can alert your team to, yo, there's a Doomfist doing the stupid rollout on Eichenwald. You know the one, like they fall off the roof with their max charge.
Seen that on a certain stream, twitch.tv/EchoFlex.
Haha, I've never done that before. Smile.
Now you have.
Shut up. I'm a support player, and people are like, people just got better, and he got a slight buff. That's what it was. Like, what heroes were like that? Tracer never got buffed, but people got slightly better at Tracer, and then she just became this monstrosity that could just tear apart teams solo.
I mean, even the things that, like, the nerf that she got to a pulse bomb wasn't what made her broken anyway. And it was just like a nerf for the sake of nerfing her, so people felt like, this
yeah.
one hero that was never touched finally got a nerf. When in reality, Tracer's like skill to reward ratio in terms of like effectiveness was always very much balanced. This is why she was never really touched, because Tracer was like one of the very few heroes who had a very good ratio. And that's not to say that there isn't anything that's not broken, because if you take specific circumstance, like for example Zenyatta's hitbox, sure, Tracer should not be able to one-clip a Zenyatta the way she one-clips a Zenyatta, but that's not a problem with Tracer's spread, it's a problem with Zenyatta's hitbox. Because you shoot his knees and it counts as a headshot. Like, that's ridiculous, it should not happen. But this is not a Tracer-specific problem, as annoying as it is to get one shot. Same goes for, like, Sombra, for example, or Doomfist for that matter.
It's, like, a lot of the heroes that counter Doomfist and Sombra are kind of, like, out of the meta right now.
Yeah.
They're just not good, like... So usually when people are complaining about Doomfist, is they're on characters that get hard destroyed by Doomfist, like Soldier, Zenyatta, Ana.
Oh, yeah, that's not to say that Doomfist is not broken right now. Obviously, he is overtuned.
Doomfist, he's overtuned.
He's absolutely overtuned.
That's the word. That's the word right there. He's overtuned. He's not broken. A character that was broken was like Release Ana, who could do so many things.
Yes, like, I love that about her, honestly. But she could do so many things at once that made her just very versatile. But
she was very versatile, but she was too perfect at being all around.
Yeah.
But Doomfist is like he's kind of like the all-arounder DPS again. He can one-shot, high burst damage. He can stay in the fight for quite a bit. He has a get out of free. I feel like a lot of the problems with Doomfist, his ability. It's
every ability that he has is like damage, mobility, and sustainability all at once, and I think that's a big issue. Every attack does a truckload of damage, CCs, gives it like is a movement ability, and like gives him shields. It's too much at once.
That's a lot of his ultimate is kind of like a get out of free vehicle.
Yeah, that too.
He goes in.
If a Doomfist plays stupid, you know he has his ultimate.
Oh, Doomfist are always playing stupid. So
it's particularly stupid.
His bugs were holding him back, and now that most of his bugs are gone, quite the monster.
I mean, he still does get
coordinated teams.
Weird hit registration things and bugs and stuff, but it's not as bad as it was in the past.
Like EQO said, a Lucio can contest a Doom. That's quite true. If the Lucio is like aware that the Doomfist is coming, and, like let's say he's trying to slam his Ana, besides slam the Ana, all the Lucio has to do is just wait. When he slams, boop him away. Just like right after he slams, and the Doomfist's entire combo is ruined.
And even for players who are maybe not support players and don't honestly often have the possibility to go Lucio, if you're an off-tank player, Zarya is a great like low elo hard counter for Doomfist. Like if he dives in trying to get one shot, just bubble whoever gets like juggled by him, and suddenly he can't really do anything.
He's useless. Yes.
Yeah,
there's just simple things that you have to do, but like you have to go out of your way to figure out what those things are. And if you don't, then you why are you complaining about Doomfist? Buddy, get better.
People are so insistent on playing the like quote unquote high skill here. Like they'll play McCree and Widow and Soldier 76 because hey, those characters require aim, and aim is skill, and I feel good when I can show my skill. But what they fail to really work on is their skill in the form of like the MOBA aspects of the game, your positioning, your cooldown management, your ultimate management.
McCree actually does hard to counter Doomfist if you...
The thing is, you think that, but then you look at like lower elo, even Masters play, so like once Doomfist is in and he got his first shield, even like flash right click does not one-shot him anymore, especially if you freak out and you don't hit all the bullets.
Forehead.
And you tell it to low elo players, it's not gonna happen. That's the thing. I can see how that's a problem.
That's a sad truth. It's like there's heroes that just pup stomp people.
Yeah,
it's like
pup stomp is not enough of a big word in Overwatch. I feel back when I played Dirty Bomb, F Chef for Dirty Bomb. By the way, this game is dead now. Pup stomp was such a big word. Like people always knew these like pub stars because they would go around just like dominating lobbies, like solo destroying them because they're playing either a very strong character like Overtune character, or they had really good aim because Dirty Bomb was an actual shooter. Pub stomping also happens in Overwatch where you play a hero that is currently overtuned, or you're just really good at a particular hero. That doesn't mean you win all your games, but he's still gonna kill you in very infuriating ways over and over again. And we've like joked about that before when we played Overwatch earlier, where one thing the community is lacking in Lodge is pattern recognition.
Yeah, oh my god.
What you said earlier about the set plays with Doomfist, that's exactly it. Doomfist do the same thing over and over again.
Repeat, rinse and repeat. So
yeah.
example of a map. So
Don't get examples. We just gotta go off on a tangent again.
Okay, but so like basically Doomfist is like goes in. He goes in from like left side of the map. He does a rollout, jumps over something. You're on the right side of the map. He kills you. You go to the right side of the map again, and the Doomfist does the same exact thing.
You complain.
People just need to be aware that, yo, I think this guy might be going for something, the same exact thing again, but like slightly different. I feel like it's just people just don't want to like swap off you're right, Cliff. People just don't want to swap off the heroes that they want to play.
And they don't want to get better either. They just want the meta to fall in their favor. A high skill meta is a meta that favors your favorite hero, so you don't have to do anything anymore except for playing your favorite heroes. When the game is about adapting. Just adapt and learn.
Get better.
Just get better, lol, forehead.
it's kind of like the truth, though. It's
just people really don't want to accept that.
Yeah, it's just Doomfist / Brig. Just they look stupid in competitive play because they can get away with those plays because people they don't know what.
People are stubborn and they don't know what they do.
People don't want to counter things because what do I have to swap? It's like I've gone out of my way, GM and stuff, just to avoid Doomfist one tricks, right? Never swap because they get high elo, right, off the low shitters GM players / master players, right? Huh? They get to like 43, 4200, occasionally 4400, right? And like two or three seasons ago, they were like masters. And they just started one-tricking Doomfist because he's broken, right?
Yeah.
And then I purposely avoid them because even though that they're probably good at Doomfist, like really good, right? If you have a semi-competent, like 2-3 semi-competent players that go out of their way to just counter the Doomfist, whatever he does, right? One of them goes Sombra, one of them goes Brig, the other goes Zenyatta, even though he gets kind of fucked by Doomfist, just Discord him so he dies faster, right? Then what is that Doomfist going to do? He can't swap, then he'll start playing at a lower skill level than where he's at.
It's essentially a 5v6 at that point if you take him out of the fight.
The Doomfist, unless he's getting like hard pocketed by a Zarya bubble, Zenyatta orb, Ana heals, Doomfist is useless.
But then we're talking about levels of coordination that realistically are probably not going to happen all the time in low ranks. And that's also something I've seen a lot where people just like... They don't have the skill level to... No, they will just blow things up out of proportion because they're going to be like, well, this like Doomfist is like in all my games. And sure, he might be in all your games, but is he always getting hard-pocketed the way you claim he is? Because if you're in low rank, then how do they have the coordination to do that? Because realistically, they wouldn't, at least not on a constant basis. I think people are just really... It's really easy to always remember the things that piss you off. You know, here's the thing. To like draw a bottom line for this video. We're not saying stunts are not annoying. They are annoying. But once you stop looking at them as a nuisance and you see them as part of the game to like play around, it's not that big of a deal. Like, sure, again, it's annoying to get booped. It's annoying to get jugged up by Doomfist. It's annoying to get stun comboed by Brigade. But you can play around most of these things. And sure, we are waiting for a Doomfist nerf because he's overtuned, but...
Like, it's like Lucio boop, right? How is, to this day, Lucio's been in the game for like 2 years plus, right? Yeah. People to this day are still getting booped off on maps with pits, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it shouldn't happen that often, right? You think it shouldn't happen. People just don't see the pattern, especially on Lijiang Gardens, right? The bridge. Why?
And this is really the prime example.
Like, do you guys not remember last game?
Or the game before? Or the game before that?
I wonder what this Lucio's gonna do, guys.
Like, whenever you get annoyed about getting stunned by a character that does stunning things, think about Lucio booping people off of the same maps for like almost 3 years, and how people still have not learned to adjust their positioning according to what the enemies are playing. Here's the thing, if you want to play your favorite heroes, then that's fine, but don't go complaining that the meta currently doesn't favor you under the disguise of saying, oh, blah, 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 this meta is no skill, blah, blah, blah. Reality is, you just want to play your favorite heroes. You don't want to learn new things, and you don't want to get better at the game and learn how to flex and all that stuff. Like, that's a reality.
This is not to call out the people that are swapping.
Obviously not. But these people are probably not complaining all the time about everything being broken just because they don't like it.
I mean, if there's a Doomfist shitting on your team, go Brig. Brig is kind of one of the easiest
Zarya
heroes.
even, you know, like go Sombra. Like, there's a lot of different things you can do in every slot.
If Roadhog was not in the garbage tier, I feel like a lot of people would be praising Hog for being the Doomfist before he was super broken. Roadhog kind of like
shit on him.
shit on him so hard. A lot of the heroes that counter Doomfist are either out of meta or they're just niche. Like Sombra's not niche though. Sombra's one of those counters where like if you play the Sombra well, the Doomfist is quite useless.
Yeah, so playing the Sombra well as a low elo player is not that easy. Like, you can hack a Doomfist, but getting continuous value is the other thing.
It's like you have to farm up EMP every single fight. You have a lot of worries to do if you're playing.
It's easy to play wrong, honestly.
And I feel like that's just a symptom of people needing to get better. It's like there's always going to be characters that shit on you, and if you learn how to counter them, then you'll be set. You'll just start climbing super fast. But it's harder to get that value off the Ana than it is the Mercy. So people are taking the easy routes instead of going characters like Sombra, counter the Doomfist, and they're still having trouble. Like you would go McCree and just try and fan hammer him, but he gets the BS barriers when he stuns you in. It's just kind of like Doomfist is slightly overtuned, and people are now realizing that, stuns are kind of stupid. Rage. But stuns have always been in this game. Like, it's like the thing is, Doomfist is like, you have to be pretty good with him to get him like max value all the time. It's like there's a lot of times where Doomfist just go in, they punch in, right? They slam the uppercut, and what are they gonna do? They don't have that. They don't have the next step planned.
I guess we can kind of like draw a conclusion at this point when it comes to like stuns in Overwatch and how they interact with other abilities in the game that need to be managed.
Personally, my thoughts on stuns in Overwatch is you always have to have good with the evil, right? There's the good, right? Stunning that Nanoblade Genji, right? Sleeping him, right? That feels, it's a euphoric feeling, right? For honest, I know. So, and like grabbing the entire enemy team. That's technically a stun, CC, right?
It is a crowd control, yes.
Just the new additions, like it's kind of like they're just adding stuns to add stuns is what people are thinking, but that's not kind of how like their design thing. They first make the character, right, and then they add the abilities later. And it kind of sucks that they basically added 3 stun characters if you add Sombra into the mix. And it's just now people are saying, this game, I just get stunned a lot. Like people are running comps with like, if you ever run into a McCree Brig Doomfist combo, your tanks are gonna have a lot of fun. I feel like we didn't really talk about tanks either. Tanks getting stunned and they're not being able to play the game.
This is such an interesting argument because on the one side, there's like the statistical argument of, oh, look at how successful tanks are, look at the win rates of tanks, and look how important tanks are in the game. But there's the other argument of like, how does it feel to play it on like game-by-game basis where you just get juggled, crowd control?
It's like tanks are just getting Reinhardts. I personally know a Reinhardt player on my team. Like there was like one time we were just playing on King's Row and he couldn't press any buttons. He was just getting hearts. He got like there's like a few clips around if you can go around like where people just get hacked. They get stunned, they get slept, they get shattered, and then they get hacked again in all within like a few seconds, and they just cannot play the game. But that's like it's kind of like necessary for them to eat it instead of your supports. So at least imagine if your entire team was being, then that I feel like a lot of people would be crying out to those characters. But it's happily, thank God, there's like I know a few games where like stuns area effects like Zarya grab like every single stun, but this game, thank God, only ultimates have area effect stuns.
I feel like we've been going on with this for
rambling. Yeah, we're kind of rambling now.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything else? Like
honestly,
stuns?
I think we should just. Stuns have always been in the game. Like that's the simple fact of the matter is that stuns are part of the game for a very simple reason. The reason being that the design of the game as a whole, like it adds a layer of depth.
Mobility creep. Oh yeah, mobility creep.
Mobility creep. Oh my god, we keep finding new things to talk about. Holy shit.
This
video is not about mobility creep. Just guys, remember this.
Stuns in the game, mobility creep would be a problem, right?
Remember this, guys. Stuns are there to put things into shape that otherwise would be completely broken, such as mobility creep, ultimate combos, and other stun abilities for that matter, or even sustainability. There's so much in the game that goes beyond just click their heads, low forehead.
The game versus Doomfist.
Yeah, just try to see the bigger picture. There's always counter picks you can do, there's counter plays, there's set plays versus just raw mechanical skill. There's way more you can do in the game than you are probably considering, like just judging by the forum posts we have read. And you really have to consider the bigger picture of it all. There's things you can do on an individual basis to make it better, but You gotta ask yourself, do you want to do these things? Do you just want the game to fall into your favor, or do you actually want to get better and learn how to counter these things? We're not saying Doomfist is not broken, he is overtuned, we talked about that, but there are things you can do to make it less bad. Pick a counter hero, adjust your positioning, try to talk to your team. Even if they don't listen, at least you tried your best about it. And that's that for today's podcasty kind of discussion. It's a bit of a pilot project, so please do let me know down in the comment section below what you thought about this video. Also, make sure to check out Echo over on twitch.tv/EchoFlex, where you can find him meme in the face of adversity. Also, make sure to check out #Overwatch, the channel that I've been hired to make highlight type videos for as a full-time job. Coincidentally, I have made a video over there featuring a lot of streamers who have either been suffering or taken advantage of crowd control abilities in Overwatch. If you enjoy what I do over there, make sure to drop a comment and subscribe, because that's an actual upload schedule there, unlike for myself right now. But I'm gonna call it a day, so thank you guys so much for sitting through this video. I can't wait to hear your opinion, and hopefully I'll be seeing you all next time.